She won Chicago in 2018, set herself up as one of the world's best marathon runners, having finished second to Vivian Cherry here in London earlier on that year, and then went on to come and win in London last April 2019 of course, and then went on to Chicago this time last year in October and tore apart the world record. I'm not sure who she's looking for, but there's nobody in sight. 2 minutes she has a lead now, which is testimony to her strength in it. What's been a tough race, you have to say that. It has been a tough race for many. They did go out at a pace which suggested they could break the women's only world record when it was raining and dark earlier on, if you were with us prior to 8 o'clock. And then it slowed and it's continued to slow really, and then Kosgei herself, the last 10Ks, managed to re-establish her pace and her rhythm. Almost a smile there on her face. But she looks comfortable and she looks good.
She does, and she talked about, she's got twin children, and she talked about them being proud of her running and how normally the time she spends apart from them is very hard, and she spent a bit more time at home with lockdown, but she was excited to make them proud again today.
And what an interesting 3-4 weeks, I think. Andrew mentioned earlier on, she went to run in Brussels in the 1 hour race, where Mo Farah broke the men's world record for the 1 hour, and Sifan Hassan in a great race with Kosgei, it has to be said, and it was a good test for Kosgei, but then she got disqualified as she passes Tish Jones here for the second time, and she got disqualified for putting a couple of strides on the inside of the track, and no problems today. She's kept to the racing line very well. So this, she'll remember last year when she came round with all of the crowds and the cheering and the atmosphere. None of that today, but the result is the same. Buckingham Palace off to her left, and the final turns into the last few hundred metres at a very different London Marathon in 2020. The whole world has been changed, and the sporting world itself has struggled to find a way to move forward. And here in London, everybody must be so pleased that they've managed to get the world's best runners here once more. And for Brigid Kosgei, it's business as usual. Perhaps not in the way she was able to prepare for this race, not in the way in which the race itself has been contested, not in the way in which the course has been laid out for her, but she's come back as the Brigid Kosgei we know, and the Brigid Kosgei which we've seen over the last 2 years. Dominant, quicker than everybody else, so strong in the latter stages, and has beaten the course, she's beaten the rain, and she's beaten all of her rivals here. Brigid Kosgei wins the 2020 London Marathon. The time not important today, being here the most important thing, and for her winning in a way in which I'm sure maybe halfway through the race she was perhaps wondering whether or not it would happen, but once she got away from the World Championship in Gatich, no question that she was going to go on and take the win. Maybe a tougher day than she's had in recent races to Brigid Kosgei, but she has come out on top again.
Well, yeah, you can see the effects of that there from Brigid Kosgei, that was pretty hard, and again, with the training that she has been able to do, or unable to do more permanently, perhaps she's feeling it in her legs more than she would otherwise, because they're a bit of a stagger from Kosgei. Ruth Chepengei, now Sarah Hall is not going to get there. The gap looks close. You can see the feet of Sarah Hall behind her. She's still trying so hard, and Chepengei looks to be going more slowly, but there's still a bit of a gap there, although she is closing.
Wow, this is going to be close because they've still